and for the viewers who just joined, can you explain your background a little bit and how you became a Knicks fan?
Well, it started in the glory days, the 90s, when they were actually good. And, it just escalated from there. I'm a New Yorker, so I'm going to support my local teams. And I don't switch teams either. And I just roll with the Knicks and hoping that they get better, which lately they have not.
I know. It's been a while. I'm a Knicks fan too, unfortunately, but I'm hoping it turns around. But what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on the team so far?
Well, this season was the season that broke me. It was the most disappointing season. I don't know why over the summer I had such high hopes for this team, even though we signed Julius Randle. I don't know. I just feel like a loser. After hoping for KD and Kyrie, and then I'm like, all right, fine, whatever. We have good role players, flexibility, and maybe we will, somewhat get 30 wins. But you know how the season went. This season, actually, yeah. I could admit I became a casual Knicks fan. Before this season, I was a part of even worse season, when Shred and what's his name, Jason Smith was on the team, and we sucked. We completely sucked. But I was still loyal. I was still watching games. But this season, I just couldn't. Thank God for RJ Barrett. He is, I believe in him. I think he's going to be a great player for us in the future. And I guess Mitchell Robinson, once he gets his shooting together and out of foul trouble, I think we have a good young core that still gives me hope. Other than that, we really need to step it up. I'm so tired of us losing, and just it's kind of a joke now.
So there's a comment from Make Knicks Great Again. He said, I'm so mad at you for saying Randall has a better contract than KP.
Stop crying over KP. I told you, you know what? Whatever. He knows how I feel about that. He does have a better contract than KP. Is he freaking the most frustrating player to watch? Yes, he is. But how much better could have KP done for us? Okay, the guy has yet to play a full NBA season. I think New York made him greater than he probably is or was. Only time will tell with that. Hopefully I eat my words, like I always do. Yeah, KP was not the answer. Clearly, he was not built for New York, and we just got to move on. That's it. Just move on, make Knicks great again. That's all.
Let me ask you this. What are your thoughts on Mitchell Robinson as a player? Because I feel like he's a great he's coming in his own right now and he's already a good rebounder and he can block shots. I think that's the type of player you can build around for the future.
I do agree. I feel like Mitchell Robinson has this raw talent, and I think with maturity as well, he needs to mature a little from what I see and get together with get himself together. I guess he's making the steps, changing his agent. I'm sorry, I had to go there, but whatever. I had a whole huge Twitter war with his old agent. But I think he needs maturity. That's the thing. He's very immature for his age, but we see him growing compared to when he was first drafted. And throughout the season, you see him flourish. But we need him to flourish more on a basketball level as well. And I think that's just within time. It will come to him. And I still believe in him. I think he's a great player. He just needs good development.
Make Knicks Great Again said, what problem did you have with his agent?
I just, whatever. We're not even going to go there. It was just a stupid little issue. I commented on one little thing and the guy just went off. I felt like his agent didn't tell it to him like it is. Mitchell Robinson needs a very good role model. Because I feel like, my opinion, he lacks maturity, and that's going to take time. And he doesn't need people around him that gas his head. He needs people to put a perspective in his life and push him to grow as a person, so he could grow on the court. And that's pretty much it. It was such bullshit. Whatever. It was entertaining. But clearly,
Um,
he listened. He switched agents, and let's see how it goes from there.
That's true. So for the point guard situation, I'm kind of concerned. And yesterday I interviewed a sport
Our situation,
this.
because that. On the Knicks, but like it depends on what's the cost for CP3, and also going into this year's draft, which is like a complete mess this year. Like I have like a few that I want the Knicks to draft, but I feel like point guard year after year we've been lacking an elite point guard, and I feel like now is the time to draft an elite point guard, unless I don't really follow like next year's prospects, but unless there's somebody next year that's a better point guard than anybody in this draft, I feel like Knicks desperately need a point guard. And I could see them signing CP3 if they plan on drafting a point guard. And like, what better player to develop your future point guard than CP3, but also at what cost? That's the thing.
No, for CP3, I'm all in. I want him on the Knicks because for veteran, we need a veteran leader on that team, and I feel like CP3, the way he's playing this year,
You don't
he
like
still
Taj?
has.
You don't like Taj? He's a veteran player. No, I'm kidding.
Taj Gibson's garbage.
Oh my god.
Speaking of Taj Gibson, that was a waste of a signing because we already have Bobby Portis and 3 other power forwards on the team. So I don't know what the reason.
Whole season, if you think about it, it was just a mess.
Yeah, but I think CP3 could be a good fit for us. I feel like because the way he's playing this year, he still has something left in the tank. So I'm hoping the Knicks can get him in free agency, CP3. But
yeah, you know what? It's definitely the Knicks move to do. Go after CP3. He totally either has an injury, like let me not jinx it, but like we go after players that we should have gone after years ago. And then those players, we see them do amazing on every other team, and then they come to the Knicks, and then they're just like whatever, average, or they're declining.
Mm-hmm. So my next question here, I'm trying to read make Knicks great again. What did he say?
Make Knicks great again hates me because I like Frank as a role player, and he hates Frank.
Wait, so I personally think our young core is one of the worst in the league. He thinks that our young core is the worst in the league.
You think they're the worst in the whole league? I mean, they are our young core. Like, who would you trade away? What flexibility do the Knicks have? Like, we have, I think, 7 draft picks for the future. And I feel like we have a decent young core. Maybe not the best young core, but I feel like RJ and I guess Mitchell, I mean, you know what? There's a little bit of truth to it, but like, let's give them another year and the season doesn't count. Because like, honestly, the role players that we had on this team completely sucked on the development of our young core as well. So Knicks experiment this season did not go well.
See, so my next question is the head coaching. I know it's too early to say who's going to be the next head coach, but I feel like Kenny Atkinson, the former Nets coach, can be a good fit for the Knicks because he's good at developing young players. Yeah, so the Knicks obviously need that type of coach.
You know, I feel like he's a great candidate as well. But also, like, if we're sticking with Perry, we might as well. And Mills showed he could actually get some wins and this young core. I don't know if we should just go another year with Mills. The thing is, Knicks need some damn consistency. Like, we fire coaches and like there's no consistency and it's just ridiculous. Like this, it's hard to develop a young youth when you keep constantly changing coaches and have all these shakeups. I was against what's his name getting fired.
David Fizdale, right?
Yeah. Fizdale. And because I was like, oh man, we just need consistency. But you know what? That was the right move. I just didn't think it was at the time. But you know what? We needed winning. Although he would have helped us with the tanking, like Did the Knicks want to win? Did they like? It's just so unpredictable with them. But clearly, Fizdale sucked.
Yeah, I mean, I think we need a young developing coach. And Fizdale's a problem.
I agree. I said Fizdale sucked, but like I was like maybe he shouldn't have been fired then. But clearly, I was wrong. I'm glad they fired him, and that's it. I feel like maybe Miller deserves a chance because clearly he was way better than Fizdale, and these players got to know him or played under him. Why not give the team some consistency? And it looks like the players respect him.
So you think Mike Miller is a chance to get that interim coach lifted off to be the full-term head coach?
I mean, I don't want him as the head coach. I mean, there's better options out there, but I feel like, can you demote him? Like, it would be great to have him on the team still. Like, clearly he knows what he's doing, but I feel like Nick should go for the best option out there. And I like Atkins as well.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on I feel like Kevin Knox, I don't know. What are your thoughts on Kevin Knox? Because Kevin Knox, I really thought he's going to be a really good player, but he hasn't evolved yet.
Well, let me tell you, back then, during the draft, I really was hoping that they would choose Michael Porter, MP, junior, yeah. But, they went with Knox. So I had hopes in him. You know what? As long as the player is on my team, and I'm going to support him. I'm going to give it time because he is young, and I'm just hoping for the best. But if he does not improve, I feel like it's time to move on. And clearly, Knicks suck at picking draft picks as well, drafting. And that's what scares me. Like, who's doing the scouting for them? Because clearly, out of how many picks did we actually have, good outcomes? I feel like RJ is the best pick we had in a while. Maybe for make Knicks great again, I'm going to say KP as well. But he's not here, so you see how that worked out for us.
And RJ, we can definitely build around RJ and Mitchell Robinson. Those are only two players I think we can build around because the rest of the players are spare parts, in my opinion. So,
yeah. I mean, even I hate to say this, but I wouldn't mind trading Mitchell Robinson if we could get something better for him because sometimes he worries me about his development. But we'll see. We'll see what this season brings if it, we ever have. I mean, next season, you know what I mean.
So my next question is, what are your thoughts on Leon Rose as a new GM? Do you think he can turn around the franchise?
Leon was not the one that I really wanted, but we'll see. We'll see. I don't want to judge him until we actually see his steps. And, now with the coronavirus, the whole draft, the whole signing Perry, I feel like they signed Scott Perry to extension for another year only because, going to this year's draft, it's kind of hard to bring a new person in and, draft for you. Meanwhile, this guy has been here. It's a wiser decision to have Perry, draft for us. And we'll see what Leon does in a year or two. And hopefully, if the guy has to go, we don't wait forever to fire our president or GM. I'm so tired of this. I'm so tired of Knicks sucking. Knicks are now the biggest joke of the NBA.
Yeah.
It's so sad being a fan of this team that, ESPN constantly uses us as cheap jokes, and that's pretty much it. Everybody, actually.
So, make Knicks great again said he thinks Mitchell Robinson is the next JaVale McGee. I mean, I think that's a pretty good comparison, I guess, to me.
What did he say? Oh,
the next.
Yeah. I guess, yeah. That's close enough. I mean, I want him to be much better. I mean, I still have hopes on the guy. He has this talent. Clearly he does. And with the right development, he could either be even better or JaVale McGee, McGee.
So, have you met any Knicks players in person recently?
I mean, I guess Mitchell Robinson, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly don't like really meet the players, you know.
So how many Knicks games do you go to regularly?
Well, I try to go like 4 or 5 games a year, maybe even more, but like 4 or 5 minimum. So this year I really didn't go to any except for the day I was like looking forward to the Nets Knicks game. And it was like ruined by Kobe's death. It was that day. I'm like, damn, I had to be at the Garden at the worst time, and it was just a different feeling. So it wasn't even about the Knicks anymore at that time.
So who was your sports? I mean, who was your role model in the sports industry?
I honestly like my role models. I hate to say it, are really not sports players, but if I had to pick, it would be Michael Jordan. Is a pretty like, and now watching the
documentary,
the Dirty, I actually like appreciate him even more and his work ethics. As when you're young, you just like kind of look up to him and like are like, wow, he's so cool, he's so popular, he's so good, but you could really appreciate it more when you grow up.
So my friend Stephanie, So my friend Stephanie, who just joined, she said you're amazing.
Oh, thank you. I honestly am not, but thank you guys. I really appreciate this.
So who is your? Actually, you know what? Tell me who's your role model then outside of sports then.
Oh man, I hate these spot on questions. I gotta think about it. Actually, my mother and my grandmother were my first role models. Right. They're very strong women for everything they've been through. Mother Teresa is another role model of mine. I could have a lot of people. Basically, anybody that has impacted the world for the positive and not selfish purposes, like actually giving back to the community, giving back to the world, and contributing in making the world a better place. Because especially nowadays, like I feel like people lack compassion, people lack caring for one another, and that's pretty much it. So
before I let you go, I have a couple of rapid fire questions and two takes for you.
Okay, go.
Do you think the Knicks will win the championship in the next 8 years?
Do I think the Knicks what?
Will win the championship in the next 8 years?
Like, I really want them to, but I'm at the point where I lost confidence. Like, if we make it to the playoffs, past the second round or to the finals, that'll be like winning a championship for me. Because I've been like, I've been like waiting forever just to get to that point that'll count for me. But will they win a championship in the next 8 years? As badly as I want to say yes, truthfully, I'm starting to lose faith, because if you see the league and everyone around, like all the other teams are actually getting it together, the Knicks are actually still declining. Mm-hmm. So unless they prove me otherwise, no.
Who do you think will be starting at point guard next year for the Knicks? Dennis Smith Jr. or Chris Paul?
Chris Paul.
Chris Paul.
Yeah, and off the court, I mean, their freshman will be Cole Anthony.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Actually, speaking of Cole Anthony, what do you think of him as a player?
You know what? The flashier pick would be if we're going for point guard, Melo. But he also comes with distractions, which I know will be fine. I think he could handle New York, but he already has this chip on the shoulder. I'm a star. My brothers, Cole Anthony. I know he just is recovering from an injury, but he got back with his team and his work ethic and his ability to constantly be willing to put in work. And over the Corona thing, he linked up with that guy, Chris Brinkley, and to actually work on his game. And he wanted to go over film. Like the guy, is very mature. He's showing maturity, and you need that in New York. You need maturity, and you need the will to grow as a player. Constant 24 hours working. There's no breaks. And I like that.
Yeah.
But then there's that, like the injury part of it too. But I feel like he's worth the risk. And it depends also where we fall into the lotto this year. But if Melo's not there and we desperately need a point guard, I would go with him.
Actually, my friend Tyler, who just joined, he's a Knicks fan too. He brought up Frank Ntilikina as a starting point guard. I forgot about him. That's
I wish Ntilikina was a starting point guard, but the guy, you know what? He could start some games, but our official starting point guard, I don't see it because I see some regression from him as well this season. Although we celebrate his milestones, and my friend Stephanie is a huge fan too. She's gonna kill me for bashing her baby, but we need more from him. Maybe this is the season. Some people take longer to develop. Maybe next season he is the best point guard, and that would be amazing. I'm a Ntilikina supporter. I believe in the guy. Is he one of the main guys? No, he's going to be an amazing role player. I love his defense. I love that the kid constantly works hard, and sometimes he knows he sucks. He hears it from people, but he doesn't let it get to him, and that's what I love. He's constantly working on his game. Whereas Dennis Smith Jr., you kind of see it affecting him. New York is really affecting Dennis Smith Jr., and I'm sorry, he sucks.
Favorite food?
Pizza.
Yeah. Favorite hip hop artists currently and old school?
Current J. Cole, and old school. It's Pac, Biggie. You grow up in the 90s. That was the time. So yeah, can't choose. Well, Biggie slightly because I'm from the East Coast, but that's it.
Favorite thing to do outside of watching the Knicks?
Oh, I'm always busy, but I do love to work out as well.
Yeah. Favorite movie, a sports movie?
I'm just gonna go with Space Jam. Yeah, I can't. Favorite. That's my downside. I can't be put on the spot. I suck.
Favorite non-sports movie?
Man. God damn it, nothing is coming to mind. What is that? The Great Gatsby. There you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the last two things here, I've been asking this question to all my guests that come on the podcast about the late Kobe Bryant. So I'm getting everyone's perspective on what he meant to everyone. So because he was one of my role models growing up. So what did Kobe mean to you, Mama mentality, and his daughter, Gianna, mean to you?
Well, when I was younger, MJ was the guy. He was my GOAT. Growing up, he's amazing. But I also hated him because I was a Knicks fan. And, so then later when Kobe came into the world, I kind of Knicks weren't making it to the finals. I kind of became how you have that backup team that you're going to support in the finals?
Yeah.
I was a Laker fan because of him. I'm a huge Kobe. Kobe was amazing. And then I also love Kobe off the court. Just watching him as a father, being as a mother as well. It's just amazing. And the way this person impacted the world, that day when he died, people, I have people that I know that don't even watch an ounce of basketball, don't even care for it. My best friend's sister, she has no clue, but she was so shocked by Kobe Bryant's death. And I was oh my God, this guy impacted the whole entire world. And that's what makes you a GOAT. It's not about his basketball skills. It was more than that people were genuinely moved by the death of him and his daughter.
Right. So the last thing here, would you like to say anything to all the frontline people?
Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for having me, and best of luck in your career. And thank you. That's it.
Oh, no. And then for everyone who's watching this, my cousin and I started a GoFundMe page last week, and it's for all the nurses, doctors, and whoever is helping out right now during this tough situation. Everyone go check it out. The link is in my bio. Everyone, please go donate if you guys can. But if you can, then it's fine. But I just want to thank you for coming on my podcast on the Sunday. You do an amazing job. Keep up the great work, and everyone go follow her. Everyone go follow her on Twitter and Instagram.
Thank you.
So,
yeah,
no problem.
With everything.
Thank you, and I'll be posting this interview on all social media formats. So.
All right.
Have a good day. Stay safe.
You too. Thank you very much.